Usually when I tell a man that I'm a self-love mentor, he kind of sniggers and gives me a bit of a nudge, and he says, how many times a day do you love yourself, Katie? Right? So I get it, and I used to be that cynical person, and I definitely used to be the one that would have thought that self-love was egocentric and selfish, for sure. Except, I would go so far as to say that self-love saved my life. I would say for sure it transformed my life. You know, it was only 5 or 6 years ago that my predominant feelings were of sadness, deep depression, a hell of a lot of worry, serious amounts of anger, and real anxiety. Like, I literally used to start my day with, I would wake up and you have that moment of everything's okay, and then I would get this major adrenaline rush. My heart would beat 1,000,000 miles an hour, and I couldn't keep my breathing up with my heart rate. And I would start the day in a panic attack. And it was exhausting, as you can imagine, and really frightening. It was a horrible way to start the day. And then I would walk around like I was having some kind of out-of-body experience, like I'd look down on myself in conversation with people as if I wasn't even present. You know, it was like I was so completely disconnected from myself. I didn't know who I was, but I just kept smiling and having the conversations and carrying on as normal, but I was kind of dying inside. And the way I could describe that best is to say that it was like I had a black hole inside of me, and it was like this void to be filled. And I didn't know what to do with that. So all I knew to do was to fill it with stuff like alcohol. I loved my wine. Back-to-back box sets, they helped. I was addicted to drama-fueled relationships. If I was in a relationship with a man where I could focus all of my attention on him and all the drama, it took all the focus off me and what was really going on for me. The ironic thing is that from the outside looking in, I kind of had it all going on. I had a really successful career in international events management. I was traveling the world doing Olympic Games and Rugby World Cups and Football World Cups, and you name it, I was at it. I was partying, I was having a good time, I always had boyfriends. You know, it looked like I was really happy and really confident and really sorted. But I was really actually dying on the inside. And it was so exhausting. And one day, I had what I call, my rock bottom moment. And without going into all the details, suffice to say, on this particular day, I put myself in my bedroom, and I closed the door, and I drew the blinds in the middle of the day, and I took Valium, and I got into bed, and I just hoped the world would go away. I couldn't deal with it. I was so exhausted from that, being that professional at smiling and keeping up appearances and carrying on like everything was fine. I couldn't do it anymore, I was done. And on that day, there's a word in the English language that I swear to God is the most powerful word, and it's choice. And I know we heard it a minute ago, but for me, that day, something inside me came alive, and it said, Katie, you have a choice right now. You can go down this path, and I knew exactly what that path was because my mum took that path when I was 22. When I was 22, she took her own life. You can imagine it was pretty friggin' traumatic. In that moment, I saw myself behaving, like literally replaying in precise detail what she'd done. And I knew exactly what to do. That was modeled to me, and I was just copying her. I was like this puppet. I was copying her in minute detail. So I knew what to do, and I knew what the outcome was, and I was fast tracking in that direction. And I had the choice. The other option was to do life differently. And I had no idea what that looked like. I didn't have a clue where to begin. But there was something inside me that said, you're worth it. You're meant for more than this. You're meant to have an extraordinary life. You've got to claim it. You've got to figure out a way. And for the sake of my son, who at the time was in nappies, I made the decision, I'm going to figure it out. So I got out of bed, no idea what to do next, but I summoned up all my courage. And it was really, really interesting what happened, because just that willingness to change brought me my solutions. And it might have been a teacher or a coach or a book or song words, the line of music, or a meditation that somebody gave me. But bit by bit it pieced together, and the message I got was, Katie, you have to learn to love yourself fiercely. You have to love yourself in a way that was never modeled to you. You have to figure out a way of loving yourself. And the only place I knew to start was like self-care. You hear people talking about extreme self-care. So I went gung-ho into self-care. So I was all about early nights, nice long hot baths with candles, gentle music. I'd go for long walks in the countryside. I spent time with really cool, high vibrational friends. I even took up meditation. And it totally helped. It shifted me out of the funk that I was in. And it up-leveled my vibration, and it sent a really strong message to the universe that said, I mean business. I'm going to sort this out. And it definitely helped for a period of time. But as I know you guys all know, happiness is an inside job. And it took a hell of a lot more than a bit of pampering to get me back on track. Self-love, as it turned out, is an inside job. Self-love is all about healing all parts of you, and it starts with your physical self, absolutely. And then it's about healing your emotional self. It's about healing your intellectual self, and it's about healing your spirit, authentic you, who you really are. It's about healing all of those pieces that are blocking you to feeling happy. So let's start with your intellectual self, your thoughts. I believe you can think yourself happy because you get what you focus on. I mean, you literally get what you think about. You were just speaking about it. You get what you think about. So I'd been walking around this planet with thoughts like, I am a worrier, because ever since I was a small child, for good reason, I worried. So I had identified with, I am a worrier. I am anxious. I'm meant to struggle. Life is hard. And I had an interaction with a doctor once, and he said to me, so Katie, here's the thing, because your dad was an alcoholic and your mum was clinically depressed, pretty strong chance that you've inherited those genes, so you just might want to watch out for that. Now, to whatever degree that I'm remembering that conversation correctly, to whatever degree that what he was saying was right or wrong, it doesn't matter. I took on the belief that for sure, didn't matter what I did, no matter how hard I tried, I was kind of screwed. I was like headed for disaster anyway, so what's the point? So I was walking around believing this stuff, and so it was. So that was my experience of life. And then I discovered that there were people out there having thoughts that were the complete opposite to me. I found these people that actually believed life was easy. I was like, that's a miracle. They believed like, I am worthy, I'm good enough, I've got this, I'm confident. I'm like, I've got to have some of that. Because I envied these people because they were living the life that I wanted. They seemed really happy and genuinely happy, not that false smile that I was good at wearing. They were like genuinely happy. So I realized that I had to rewire my brain. I had to reprogram my mind, and essentially I brainwashed myself. I decided I'm going to brainwash myself happy. It worked for them, I'm having that too. And it worked. I mean, the other side was happiness. I decided that, no longer was I going to say things to myself that were literally self-harming. that I hurt myself with the things I was telling myself. I decided I'm going to think things that are loving, that make me feel good about myself. If I think that stuff, then the universe is going to love me back. And it did. It's amazing. So I would like for you guys just to take a moment and have a think about, what beliefs are stopping you from feeling happy, right? You're nodding, I'm glad. What beliefs are stopping you from feeling happy? What would be a kinder, more self-loving thing to believe? And imagine what your life would look like if you believed that thought instead. Yeah, food for thought, right? Okay, so as well as mastering your mind, loving yourself means taking charge of your emotions. Now, here's the thing. In our society, we are not shown how to deal with uncomfortable emotions. And I'm talking about grief, sadness, anger, rage. We're not shown how to deal with that stuff. So if you're feeling really sad and you come into the office and all you want to do is just sit at your desk and just bawl your eyes out, it's all you want to do, all your body wants to do is cry. It's so not okay, is it? You're going to make everybody around you really uncomfortable. It's not the done thing, right? And if you're freaking furious and you come into the office like that and all you want to do is pick up your computer and lob it out the window, it's not okay, is it? So what do we do with that? Because no one's shown us what to do with it. And actually, apparently, it's really unacceptable to have those feelings. The thing is, those feelings are valid. They're real. They're very much a part of you. They're to be honored. So what do? We push them down and we repress them and we numb them out. And I told you some of what I did with that black hole that I had. I drank wine to numb out. I watched the back-to-back box sets to completely numb out and distract me. I was addicted to dramatic relationships so I could focus on them and not have to worry about what was going on for me. We shop, we eat, we compulsively put things in our mouth. We reach for that biscuit tin and reach for another cup of tea, another cup of coffee, another cigarette, so that we don't have to feel. We overwork. We do all sorts of stuff so we can just distract ourselves and not feel what we're feeling. And we think we're pretty clever because we're like, oh, I've just sidestepped that. Cool, I didn't have to feel that horrible anger or go through that nasty pain. I've just managed to just squish that and it's gone. Except that it hasn't. Because here's the kicker, when you push down your anger and your sadness, at exactly the same time, you are pushing down your joy and your happiness. You can't selectively mute or push down or ignore emotion. When you push down one, you push down them all. So ask yourself, if you aren't feeling as happy as you think you'd like to feel, what are you pushing down? What don't you want to feel? Yeah, have a think about it. Like, what most recently have you felt angry or upset about? And how are you ignoring it? What are you doing to just pretend it's not there? Pretend it doesn't exist? And you're an intelligent bunch. Like, what do you think you could do to safely release and honor those feelings? Do you need to, if you're angry, do you need to, like I did the other day actually, have a really good scream in the car? Just get it out of your body. Or smash a pillow up. Or do you need to cry? And if you're not very good at crying, do you need to go and just hire your favorite chick flick that you know is going to make you bawl your eyes out and sit and let that help the emotion come up? But you've got to get it out of your body because it's not healthy and it is blocking you to your joy and happiness for sure. Achieving mental and emotional mastery are key to feeling happy. But the next piece of the puzzle is honoring your desires. It's honoring your spirit and who you really are. So I believe we're all spiritual beings, and I believe that we have come here to have this life experience so that we can more fully experience the truth of who we are. And being energetic beings as well, we're meant to expand and grow and be more constantly. So if you're feeling any level of dissatisfaction in your life, it's awesome actually when you're dissatisfied. I love it when someone says I'm dissatisfied, because that is a communication straight from your spirit, your authentic self, the truth of who you are, saying it's time to expand and grow and go to my next level. You're meant for more than this. Your spirit's bored. Your spirit is here for a reason. The purpose is to expand and be more. And for whatever reason, you're kind of playing safe and doing the same old thing and you're bored. You've got to listen to that voice. If you don't, it's literally soul destroying. Literally. Which is obviously going to block your ability to feel happy, right? In a nutshell, honoring your desires means simply doing what you love. What do you love to do? That's what you got to do. Whether it be your work or your relationships or your health and fitness or contribution to society, whatever it is, you've got to do what you love and you've got to listen to your spirit. So what's your spirit saying to you? What's the first thing that comes into your mind that you're dissatisfied with in your life? What's the first bit? What are you going to do to change that? It's your route to happiness for sure. You're all thinking. The key to happiness is self-love. You're going from where you are now to where you desire to be is a choice. You know, I shared my story with you earlier because I wanted you to really grasp how loving yourself, how loving all aspects of yourself can dramatically change your experience of life. I mean, honestly, I would hate to think where I would be now if I hadn't have made the choice to step up and take responsibility for myself and my life and love myself enough to heal those pieces that needed healing. You know, self-love it's mastering your mind because you get what you think about. Self-love is honoring your emotions, because if you're pushing down your anger and your sadness, you are repressing your ability to have joy and happiness. Self-love means honoring the truth, that beautiful truth of who you are and what you love to do. That's what you're meant for in this life. You get to choose to do what you love. You're in charge of you, nobody else. Happiness is your birthright. It's what you're meant for. And the route to it is self-love.